Hi, I'm Linda Kelly with the Kelly Mental Health Foundation. While normally we would be doing these segments sitting pretty close together, today what we're doing is actually going to talk about some things that are going to be challenging to deal with over the next few weeks given the recent pandemic outbreak. I have with me today Kelly Graham, and Kelly is a therapist that is quite used to dealing with anxiety. So she is going to talk to us today about how to manage your anxiety while you're stuck at home during this outbreak. Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
Hi. So one of the things that you had mentioned is just that anxiety can get really out of hand for people during this period of time. Can you tell us why?
Yes. Even for myself, I have found constantly checking the news, constantly keeping up with the updates, which is good, but it seems we're constantly on our phone, constantly wanting to know what's happening, and it starts to spiral in our head. We start to catastrophize because we don't know what's happening. We don't know how long these social distancing and other measures are going to have to be in place. And that can be very scary for some people. Even layoffs, right now they're 2 weeks, but who knows if that's going to have to go longer. So this is a very anxious time for a lot of people. And it's great having news accessible 24/7, but it kind of heightens that anxiety because if you want to, you can never get away from it.
You're just bombarded with it all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. How could you describe what anxiety feels like just for people that are unfamiliar?
Well, it can present as many different forms. I've been having a knot in my stomach for the past week and feeling nauseous. It can also come with heart palpitations, feeling like your heart's racing, sweatiness, kind of shaky hands. Shallow breaths, kind of rapid breathing. It can even be constipation or diarrhea, decreased or increased appetite. It can present in many different ways.
Mm-hmm. I do notice a little bit of a tunnel vision. Like if I seem to be like gas pedal to the floor, kind of going all day and not noticing anything else around me.
Yeah.
Right, so that can be that manifestation of anxiety.
Yes, okay. And right now we're all very focused on this pandemic and what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. A lot of what ifs.
Yes.
Yeah, which drives anxiety, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So how do you calm it? How do you deal with that?
Well, the first thing is being mindful of what you're feeling. You know, if you're paying attention to the news, if you're constantly reading the news, pay attention to how it's making you feel physically, emotionally, mentally. I mean, I found that especially last week, I was coming home and I was just drained from work, but also from trying to stay up to date on everything. And it's important to know how that feels because you have a choice. You know, you may not be able to control a lot of things, but you have a choice and you can control your body and mind. So it's important to kind of limit your interaction with social media, with the news, and take those breaks. And notice how you feel when you take those breaks. Try and relax. Try and do some deep breathing. Try and do some exercising. I came home from work every day last week and worked out, and I've never felt so good after working out before because it put me away from my phone, so I couldn't reach for my phone, and I was just working out all of that negative, all of that stressful energy, and I was able to feel more energized after and not just so exhausted. I think it's important to have that limitation on, yes, you want to be informed, but you can only be so informed. After that, it's reaching a point where you're just making yourself spiral.
Right. That's a really interesting, too, the way you say, like, we actually do have a choice in what information we let in and in deciding to be anxious.
Yeah.
Does that kind of put the onus on people like it's your fault for getting anxious?
Absolutely not. I think everybody is anxious right now, whether you have anxiety or not. And it's normal to be anxious, especially right now. Right. And that's okay, but it's what you do with that anxiety and how you cope with it.
Mm-hmm. Because anxiety does serve a purpose, right? It's when we are alerted to danger, it's our body kicking into high gear, getting ready to fight or run away or sometimes even freeze.
Yes.
Right, just to save our lives. Whereas with what we're hearing through the media, this isn't something that we can use those typical reactions to solve.
But you still have them.
Right.
So it's how do you calm those reactions? So there's many different things that you can do. You can practice deep breathing. You can exercise. Even just self-soothing. I mean, right now, a lot of people can't do touch. can't touch people, so self-soothing using touch, Put your hands on your heart and just take a moment and just notice how that feels. And do it in other parts of your body. Put it on your stomach. Hug yourself. And just sit with that and see if that soothes you at all. Or even hugging a pillow or wrapping yourself in a blanket. Trying to find little things to just kind of help soothe you and make you feel like, okay, I can relax a little bit. Making sure your posture's good so you're not like, oh God, I'm terrified. Opening up your shoulders, making sure that you can breathe, making sure you're taking deep breaths. Doing little conscious things throughout the day can help ease your anxiety.
Perfect. And that really does put the power back in your hands, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all of those tips. Soon to come will be plenty of more tips and discussion about challenges we'll be encountering during a period of self-isolation. So make sure you pay attention, stay with us, and we'll be giving you lots of helpful tips.